Hello TV enthusiasts, thank you for joining today. Today we're going to be talking about adjustments, specifically comparability adjustments when applying the CPM method. Today we're going to be talking about two broad concepts, the two whys surrounding the adjustments. Why do we do them and why are we allowed to do them? First why. Why do we do them? Well, adjustments are used to improve the comparability of the tested party and the comparable firms. Perhaps put in another way, as TP professionals, we want to make sure that we're comparing apples to apples and orange to orange. Performing these comparability adjustments where we account for certain economic or accounting factors is one way of doing that. So for example, we may account for differences that might create variances in operating margins, or perhaps we see a business where they use more physical assets than other. All other things are factors that we want to take into consideration when applying the CPM method and applying the comparability adjustments. Stepping away from the transfer pricing realm for a second, let's assume 1 second that our ask right now is to take a measurement of all the women in the room. When we're making this adjustment, what are certain things that we could do to perhaps make the measurement more accurate? Improve the reliability of the range. Well, one quote-unquote adjustment that we can make is we could ask them to take off their shoes, because some women wear sandals while others wear pumps and T-strap shoes. As such, by asking women in the room to take off their shoes, this may actually widen or narrow the range. For example, if the shortest woman wore high heels and the tallest woman wore flats, then the range here is actually narrowed. So simple example like this shows why we should perform adjustments when we're performing the CPM analysis and looking for comparable set of companies. Next, let's talk real quickly about why we are allowed to do this. Just like any other, transfer pricing analyses performed in the U.S. realm, we look to the regs. And the regs allows us under section 1.42-1, 1D2 to perform comparability adjustments if there are material differences between controlled and uncontrolled transactions. And the third bullet here is key. It says here that generally such adjustment must be made to the results of the uncontrolled comparable and must be based on commercial practices, economic principles, or statistical analyses. So although the regs allows us to perform these comparability adjustments, it's also important to keep in mind that there are certain limits in terms of the type of the adjustments we can make and what factors we could take into the consideration. In terms of specific type of adjustments, such as working capital adjustments or LIFO-FIFO adjustment or any other type of adjustments, please look to the other presentation that should be available. Thank you.